He never felt the need to chase stats.
What impact does your statistical place in the NBA have on you?
I love this answer.
Well, that never drove me. I mean, the stats only add up when you put forth the effort and you don't worry about it. You know, good things happen to those people that work hard. If I sit here and play for the stats, I would have never retired in 93. Or I still probably be chasing Wilt Chamberlain's all-time, you know, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all-time scoring lead. I mean, that doesn't drive me.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I saw this video from Showtime Nick pop up on my feed, and it caught my attention with this one, as the title is, Longevity is Overrated. Here's why. And if you guys don't remember Showtime Nick, I reacted to, I believe, 2 of his videos so far, and really cool. He saw one of the ones that I did react to, and hit me up in the comments. So really happy to do another one, you guys, and I think it's gonna be awesome. Anyways, I don't know what I was gonna say in the intro, but that's that's close enough, guys. I really, what I'm trying to get at is Showtime Nick. I think his channel's great, and he's got 2.8 thousand subscribers. So the link is down below in the description for Showtime Nick's channel. If you guys decide at any point you guys want to go over there and check out his channel, give him some views, give him a subscribe. The link is down there. I think he deserves way more subscribers than where he's at, and I'll just leave it at that. And the ball's in your court, everybody. You know how it goes around here. Anyways, let's get to this one. Quick shout out to channel members. I appreciate you guys. Very important. The link to this video I'm reacting to is down below in the description, as well as a list of channel members. And I say let's get right to this, guys. Hit that like button, hit that hype button, all that good stuff if you could. It all helps out, and let's rock.
Longevity has become one of the most overused arguments in sports debates.
Agreed.
Especially when it comes to LeBron James. But how much does longevity really matter? To me, not nearly as much as people make it seem like. To me, peak performance will always matter more than longevity.
Agreed. Peak performance and overall, like, averages, and then overall accomplishments during the time that your career was going. AKA, more impressive that Larry Bird got 3 championships in 11 seasons, 12 years max, versus, say, for example, Kevin Durant ends up getting his 3rd championship eventually, but he plays 20 years. Definitely going in favor of Bird. Accomplishing more in less time, that shows efficiency.
And this isn't just a basketball thing. This applies across every major sport, especially when comparing players from different eras, because modern athletes have advantages that older generations never had, allowing them to overcome injuries that used to end careers.
Yeah. And also being able to take days off, even during the playoffs.
Athletes are supposed to last. They get more rest, they have better equipment, better travel circumstances, better medical procedures, allowing them to survive injuries that used to end careers. And rules have changed so that players can't take the vicious hits that past players used to, so their bodies won't take such huge tolls. And that also allows today's players to have longer careers.
Hey, Nick, if you happen to watch this, I can only tell because I got headphones on. When you're doing those edits, those punch-ins, like right here, that's only coming out of the left side.
Takes such huge tolls, and that also allows today's players to have longer.
That means you're probably recording it in stereo, and it's being like put out in mono. I believe that's what it means.
Careers. NBA players in the 60s wore Chuck Taylors. Today's players have custom insoles, performance shoes, and sports science teams monitoring every step they take. Teams used to fly commercial and sleep on hotel beds that didn't fit their body.
Which is funny when we're hearing LeBron James complain about the beds they have to sleep in now, when they're staying at like nice resorts and crap. Back in the day, it was like wherever you end up.
They played more back-to-backs. And unless you were literally injured, you were expected to play every night. Now, load management is normal, and nothing shows the difference more than ACL injuries. Billy Cunningham was
and I think it plays into the sense of urgency. Back in the older eras, the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, players weren't expecting to play for 25 years to accomplish their goals. It was like a 15-year window where if you're lucky, 15-year is a full career. So if you want 6 championships in that time, you better bust your ass and get it now, because it's not going to happen later on. I think players got way more complacent with all the science, and then they start taking days off, and the next thing you know, each playoff run isn't that important, where it meant everything back then.
4-time All-Star, the 6th man on the legendary 67 Sixers, the only team besides Bill Russell's Celtics to win a championship in the 60s, and a Hall of Famer. He tore his ACL in December of 1975 at the age of 32 and never played again.
Yeah,
Doug Collins. Many know him better as a coach and a TV analyst, but he was a really good player for the Sixers in the 70s. He tore his ACL and his career ended at 29. Back then, an ACL tear was a death sentence. Today, Klay Thompson tore his ACL and his Achilles tendon and still helped the Warriors win a championship in the year of his return.
That's crazy. I forget about the ACL with him. Yeah, man.
Jamal Murray tore his ACL in 2021. 2 seasons later, he was the 2nd best player on a championship team while averaging 26 points per game for the entire playoffs.
Yeah, and he looks perfectly healthy now.
His first All-Star game this season.
Yeah,
Kyle Lowry tore his ACL in college and still played 18 seasons in the NBA. Zach LaVine tore his ACL in 2017. He still managed to make 2 All-Star teams and average over 20 points per game in 6 different seasons after his ACL tear. The NFL created the Brady rule after Tom Brady tore his ACL in the season opener in 2008 for the whole sake of protecting the quarterback. The rules were already changing before that to make the game safer before Brady's ACL tear, but this was the cherry on top. Looking at running backs too,
Agreed. That's why I agree. And I remember I reacted to Nick's video about it was Joe Montana's the GOAT, and then here's why, or it was titled Tom Brady's not the GOAT. I can't remember what it was, but either way, that was the message. And that's the hardest part about debating the eras is, yeah, man, in the Joe Montana era, there was no protection whatsoever. You want to hit the guy a second after the ball's released? No problem. Knock him on the ground, concuss him, break his legs, do whatever. So being a quarterback in the 80s, and the 90s was a different ball game than it was in the 2000s, and especially now. This goes with most sports. Not sure about baseball and hockey, if anything has changed to soften up the game. But football and basketball definitely has been softened up a bit.
Davis tore his ACL and was basically done.
Terrell?
Looking at running backs too, Terrell Davis tore his ACL and was basically done at 26 in 1999. 11 years later, Adrian Peterson tore his ACL and MCL and came back the next year as league MVP. AP was still a superstar for 3 more seasons after his MVP season before more injuries started to actually derail him. Modern medical advancements changed everything.
Agreed.
Frank Gore lasted forever, especially for a running back.
Frank Gore.
Nobody puts him over Barry Sanders, who retired at the age of 30.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is still...
even like the best comparison for me is Emmitt Smith versus Barry Sanders. And Emmitt Smith he was doing it with my Cardinals here. Well, not my Cardinals, but the Arizona Cardinals here. And he was playing, he sucked at the end, guys. He was old. To be an old running back, not the prettiest sight. But he was stacking up yards. You know what I mean? He stacked up yards so he can break the all-time record and all that. He did all that, and at the end of the day, in a heartbeat, I can tell you Barry Sanders was by far the better running back. No doubt in my mind.
Cashing checks at 41 and made his first Pro Bowl last season. He's been a good quarterback for much of his career, but nobody would rank him above Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes could retire today and still be miles ahead of Flacco with 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 league MVPs, 6 Pro Bowl selections, and 3 All-Pro selections. He's already a penciled-in Hall of Famer in just 9 seasons,
yeah,
8 as a starter. Calvin Johnson retired at 30 and still made the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. He didn't need longevity because he was that good and was still a beast in his final season. He still accumulated more receiving yards for his career than some guys who played a lot longer than he did. Longevity only matters if you're still the focal point of your team winning late in your career, even after you've already accomplished a lot.
Agreed. Yep. That's Tom Brady. That you're going to do it. I don't even have to say it.
That's why Tom Brady's longevity is more impressive than LeBron.
It is.
Brady was still winning Super Bowls in his late 30s.
It is, and I hear LeBron fans try to compare it, because I will say I don't like Tom Brady. I never liked Tom Brady, okay? But by the end of his career, I have to crown him and say, you're the freaking GOAT, man. You're the guy. You did it. You did it. The guy got 7 freaking championships, all right? Like, what do you want from me? Like, I can't deny it anymore, And he did it at such an old age that, it's just ridiculously impressive. So, yeah, and I say that's the major difference, guys. If LeBron was even making his teams really better, that would be one thing. But if he was actually winning championships at this age in the NBA with the Lakers, guys, like at a certain point, okay, if LeBron had 7 championships right now, okay, and he was winning this late as the leader, as the main guy with the Lakers, we'd have to have a whole different conversation. But facts are facts. 1, he's not the main guy anymore. 2, they're not going to win a championship. 3, he's only got 4. So this is not even a comparable thing. Tom Brady's on a whole nother level than LeBron.
40s. It's still not enough for me to take him over Montana, but I think Brady's GOAT case is still...
Hold on, you showed the thumbnail. Hold up.
It's still not...
That's the one. Yep. I reacted to that video. That was a fun one, you guys.
Enough for me to take him over Montana, but I think Brady's GOAT case is still a lot stronger than LeBron's is.
Agreed.
LeBron is still putting up numbers, but the Lakers haven't even come close to a championship in years. The closest they got since they won in the bubble in 2020 was 3 years ago when they got swept out of the conference final. Now let's compare peak versus longevity in baseball. Sandy Koufax retired at 30 because of arthritis, but won 4 World Series, 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP, threw 4 no-hitters including a perfect game, and he's the only pitcher to ever win 3 Triple Crowns in such a short career.
Wow.
Tim Wakefield
I haven't heard that name in a long time, Sandy Koufax.
19 seasons.
Uh-oh.
3 Triple Crowns in such a short career. Tim Wakefield pitched 19 seasons. Sure, Wakefield had to be pretty good to last that long, and he was a key part of 2 World Series winning teams, but which one is a Hall of Famer and one many consider the greatest pitcher of all time? Sandy Koufax. Wakefield didn't even receive 1 vote for the Hall of Fame when he became eligible.
Wow.
Jamie Moyer, who pitched 25...
Hey, real quick before he moves on. Guys, I don't watch a lot of baseball anymore. I did when I was a kid. Where does Nolan Ryan stack up nowadays as all-time pitchers? Because where I left it, he was that guy. Last time I got into baseball was in the mid-2000s, and Roger Clemens was kind of like, he was kind of getting to that level, I remember. But I don't know, if anybody ever knocked down Nolan Ryan as the greatest. Who else do I remember? Randy Johnson, I also remember because, pitching over here, he was phenomenal. But I don't know if he's on that list. Anyways, let me know. Let me know if you guys know baseball. Like, who are the greatest pitchers of all time considered now? Like what's the tier list, essentially? If you could, I appreciate it.
Came eligible. Jamie Moyer, who pitched 25 seasons, couldn't even come close to Koufax's greatness either. Joe Mauer had a real prime. 2009 MVP, 6 All-Star appearances, 5 Silver Sluggers, 3 batting titles, and 3 Gold Gloves. Brad Ausmus played longer, but wasn't close to that level. So which one's in the Hall of Fame? Joe Mauer. His prime didn't need to be very long to get inducted because his peak was that great. Kirby Puckett played 12 seasons. Julio Franco played until he was 48. Who's in the Hall of Fame? Puckett. First ballot, 10 All-Star appearances, 2-time World Series champion, 6 Gold Gloves, and 6 Silver Sluggers. Julio Franco couldn't achieve this much in 23 seasons. Longevity doesn't make you great. Peak does. Okay, now back to basketball. Kevin Willis played 21 seasons. Ralph Sampson played 9. Sampson had a 3-year peak that was better than anything Willis ever did. That's why Sampson is in the Hall of Fame. It's not just Sampson's college career, as historic as that was too. Not everyone who's in the College Hall of Fame is in the Basketball Hall of Fame, so yeah, Sampson was that great in his peak in the NBA too to be able to earn his spot in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Something Kevin Willis never has and never will even come close to.
Yeah.
And then there's...
Yeah, no offense to Kevin Willis, but yeah, these are facts.
the recent debate that should have never existed.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, man. We covered this. This is stupid.
Dwayne Wade versus James Harden.
Yep.
James Harden at 36 is easily better than Dwayne Wade at 36, but the idea that Harden was ever better than peak D Wade is blasphemy.
Thank you.
Dwayne Wade's 2006 finals performance alone ends the debate.
Dude, I didn't know how Nick felt about basketball. This is awesome. I freaking love it, guys. I'm gonna ask over you guys. Go subscribe. What are you guys doing? This is way better than a 2,000 subscriber channel. Come on.
Harden has only ever been to the finals as the third best player on his own team.
Off the bench, yeah, as a six man.
D Wade's playoff lows were never as embarrassing as Harden's. He never followed up a 40-point game with a no-show the way Harden has. D Wade never turned the ball over more than he shot the ball in a single playoff game.
Nope.
The Heat also never won.
Let's just be real. D Wade has won. D Wade has lost. D Wade never choked. Like he wasn't a choker. That's just not in his nature. Harden, man, that's a whole nother story.
Playoff game in spite of D Wade in his prime, the way the Rockets did Game 6 of the second round.
Wait, say that again,
series
because this is important. I'm gonna rewind it and let him go.
More than he shot the ball in a single playoff game. The Heat also never won a playoff game in spite of D Wade in his prime, the way the Rockets did Game 6 of the second round series against the Clippers in 2015. And people forget how close Wade was to leading the Heat to the 2005 finals at the age of 23.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the second-year Wade was averaging 29 points per game in that postseason, and the injury flipped the momentum of the series in the Pistons' favor. Defense matters too. Dwayne Wade was solid on that end,
Absolutely.
while Harden built up a reputation.
People argue that he was, he's top 1, top 2, top 3 greatest defensive shooting guards of all time.
For being lazy on that end. When D Wade lost in the first round in back-to-back years before LeBron and Bosh arrived, he was carrying a bad roster. The only time Harden can really say he lacked help was his first year in Houston, and even then, D Wade's first round production in those carry jobs was better than
Wow. Eyes went right here. Look at that difference. More assists too. More assists. That's crazy for a shooting guard. And I know a lot of you want to call him a shooting guard, but he's the guy bringing up the ball. He's the guy initiating the offense. I don't care if that's what your position says. If you're playing the role of a point guard, you're a point guard. Okay. Oh, he got more rebounds, more steals. I'm shocked at that. More blocks for D Wade. Wow. More turnovers for D Wade by a small margin. But this is really what I'm looking at. More points, better efficiency.
Harden's was with the Rockets. Dwayne Wade at his peak was a lot better than James Harden ever was. Therefore, D Wade clears Harden by a lot in the all-time ranks.
Agreed, and especially in D Wade's case, he has the accomplishments to back it up. You know, he's got a Finals MVP, and he also has 3 championships under his belt. That's stuff that Harden can never say. The only thing that Harden has accomplished in a team sport is an individual achievement, which is MVP. As a team, never been successful with him at the helm.
Magic Johnson retired at 31. Isaiah Thomas retired at 32. Magic is the greatest point guard of all time, and Isaiah is second or third. Nobody puts Andre Miller, who played until he was 39, or Mike Conley, who's still playing now at 38, over Magic or Isaiah.
I know.
No way when Conley and Miller combined for just one All-Star game for their entire careers, while Magic and Zeke were the faces of some of the greatest teams in NBA history. How about actual Hall of Famers? Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Chris Paul played until they were 40. Nobody puts them above Magic or Isaiah either.
Nope.
Not when Kidd was effective, but
not even me, and I'm a big Nash fan. But no, he's not in that conversation. Unfortunately, he needed to win at least one championship in order for it to be something.
His prime when he finally won a championship at 38. Chris Paul only made it to the finals once in his career and lost.
Shit,
and
I don't want to think about that.
Nash never even made it to the finals throughout his career. Absolutely not. Neither Magic or Isaiah needed longevity to be the greatest point guards of all time.
Agreed.
In fact, Magic should have played longer and was still in his prime when he was forced to retire.
Thank you, dude. You know your stuff, Nick. Wow. Like, I knew you knew your stuff with football, but damn, man, you know your stuff with all sports. That's crazy.
Not many people remember just how bad Stephen Curry's ankle problems were early in his career.
Oh, yeah.
Without the guidance of performance director Kiki Lyles, who the Warriors hired in 2013, Steph might have been out of the league by age 27 or 28. NBA teams didn't hire people like Lyles until the early 2010s. In the 60s and 70s, teams had just one trainer and one assistant coach on a head coach's staff. In the 90s and 2000s, teams had more staff, but still nothing close to what teams have today when it comes to performance and sports science departments.
Oh, yeah.
No performance.
And we got an inside look at that with that Tristan Jass video I reacted to, where he was working out with the Bulls. And the cool thing is they show all the elements. So, you know, they show the recovery, they show the sports science people, you know, and the nutritionists and all of it, including all the workouts. So you get to see the full package. They're really being taken care of. Like, they're pampered now.
Directors like Kiki Lyles. We know Stephen Curry today as the face of the Warriors dynasty and the greatest shooter of all time.
Yep.
He's still averaging 27 points per game at age 38. Yes, in limited action, but still. But if he played in an era without performance directors and modern sports science, those early ankle injuries might have robbed him of all his accomplishments that make him now a penciled-in first-ballot Hall of Famer.
Agreed.
Since overrated isn't the same as bad, it's worth mentioning legends with underrated longevity. Michael Jordan won his first and last of 5 MVPs a decade apart, won his last one at 35, which was rare in the 90s, and capped that year with the Bulls' 6th title. Jordan also played all 82 games 9 times, including his last season with the Wizards, on a surgically repaired knee.
Yes, sir.
He never felt the
He
need.
even came off the bench at the beginning of the season in order to do it and help his team all 82 games. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Nick.
He never felt the need to chase stats.
What impact does your statistical place in the NBA have on you?
I love this answer.
Well, that never drove me. You know, I mean, the stats only add up when you put forth the effort and you don't worry about it. You know, good things happen to those people that work hard. If I sit here and play for the stats, I would have never retired in 93. Or I still probably be chasing Wilt Chamberlain's all-time, you know, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all-time scoring lead. I mean, that doesn't drive me. I mean, sure, I mean, it defines to some extent for people who don't know me or, you know, 20 years from now would never know who Michael Jordan really is. But based on the stats, he must have been pretty decent. You know, those are only ways that I look at stats. Other than that, you know, it's all about winning championships and winning. You know, the stats that matter to me is the games that we win and the rings that you collect.
Bill Russell's
That's my
13
dog.
seasons were massive for the 50s and 60s, when careers often lasted 4 to 5 years. He averaged 40 plus minutes per game for his career, played until he was 35, won ring number 11, and made the all-defensive first team in his last season, which was the first year all-defensive teams were introduced. Kareem won Finals MVP at 38, still the oldest Finals MVP ever to this date. He built his GOAT case
38. Yeah, props.
on peak dominance. He won MVP 6 times, has 6 rings, had the unstoppable signature skyhook, and his dominant high school and college careers helped build his GOAT case too.
Absolutely.
Wilt Chamberlain tore his knee long before modern surgeries existed, returned to average 22 points per game in the playoffs that season while playing 47 minutes per game, then played 3 more 82-game seasons while still averaging over 40 minutes per game each season, and led the Lakers to their first LA title. John Stockton and Karl Malone were Iron Men who played 19 seasons each and rarely missed a game. Stockton's the all-time leader in assists and steals by a wide margin.
Yeah.
Karl Malone retired
Still.
the second all-time leading scorer, but nobody calls them GOATs because longevity alone isn't greatness.
I agree. Now, there are some of you who would say John Stockton's the greatest point guard of all time. I disagree, though. I do. I know, like, the longevity assist number. Like, no one. I'm wondering if anyone's ever going to break his assist record. I don't know. He might hold that for forever, for all I know. But yeah, he went to the finals twice. He never won. Like, you know, if we were comparing him against Magic, and Magic had 0 rings, I think we'd have to give it up to Stockton. But Magic doesn't have 1. He's got 5 rings under his belt. So to me, like, I crown Magic any day with that one.
Just to be clear, I won't act like LeBron's longevity is completely meaningless when Carmelo Anthony is only a year older than him and has been out of the league for 4 years now, or Chris Paul, who's only a few months younger than LeBron and has been washed up the last few years and just retired. Just the quality of longevity matters a lot more than the quantity, and
agreed.
The quality of LeBron's longevity just isn't what some people make it out to be.
That's why we didn't make that big of a deal out of Vince Carter in his final years, because he got kind of, relegated to being a spot shooter, basically, as a stand and shoot kind of guy. Now, the thing is, he was shooting great, so he had a place on the roster, but does that mean does that make him the GOAT because he played long? No, it doesn't. It's just really cool that he did.
In fact, it's really safe-facing from all the lows in his career and the shortcuts he's taken to winning his championships. He's still a legend, but his longevity does not erase his lows and absolutely doesn't make him the GOAT. That's it for this video.
Damn.
Longevity is nice, but it should never be the foundation of a player's legacy. Peak performance will always matter more, especially when comparing athletes in different eras, since today's athletes have significant advantages that are not in anyone's control when it comes to having longer careers. What do you make of longevity? Do you agree or disagree that it's not something that a player's legacy really should be centered around? Please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like to get this out to more people. Please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss out. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the team. Links to my social media are down below for my more immediate reactions to what's going on in the sports world. If you're already subscribed, thanks for your support as always. If you could please also consider hyping this video, that'd be greatly appreciated too. If you'd like to see my most recent video or the one that YouTube recommends, both are up above. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.
Dude, great video. Nick, this time I hope you watch this one, because this time I don't really have anything. I agree with you. I agree with you from the top to the bottom on this one. And all I really have to say to add to it is more of what you already said. So yeah, longevity is cool, but it's not a make or break thing. And that's obvious because of all the examples he gave, all the examples I gave. It does not define the level of greatness. However, longevity can add to your greatness if during your career you accomplished a buttload. You know what I mean? But if you're not winning, then the longevity doesn't mean much, and that's just the bottom line of it. Once again, it's a big difference between Tom Brady and LeBron James, because Tom Brady was in it to win it. He wasn't there stacking up stats. He was there to win championships, okay? And he was accomplishing that. So that shut everybody up, because if not, it would have been like, yeah, you're just, you're racking up touchdowns, you're racking up passing yards, yada, yada, yada. No, he was there to win. And that was the end of the day. The crazy thing is, Brady could have played another couple of years. Easy. The guy's still in crazy shape. If he cared about stats, he would have stayed for a very long time. But I saw him say it long before he actually accomplished it. His goal was always to beat Jordan 6. And I know it's a different sport, but that's Michael Jordan for you. His goal was always to get 7. Just like Kobe's goal was to get 7. And everyone's goal in every sport seems to be to get 7. Tom Brady actually freaking did it. So I think once he did that, it was like, all right, well, let's see if we can defend this. If we can't defend this title, time for me to go. He accomplished what he set out to do. And once you get 7 championships, shit, man. Yeah, that's it. We don't even have to talk about his longevity when it comes to his greatness. When it comes to his career, that's just like an extra bonus thing to talk about. But really, it's about the winning. It's about the winning. It's about the clutch. It's about how great he was in his peak. And that's why I always have, I don't know. I'll always say I believe that Barry Sanders was the greatest running back of all time. However, I totally get it that, we have to give it to Walter Payton because he won. And Barry Sanders unfortunately never won. And we can sit here all day and talk about the fact that he had terrible teams, terrible organization, and all this is true. But that's, it sucks. It is what it is. Sometimes you get dealt a crappy hand. But the fact that, even without winning a championship, most of us who have ever seen him play, we have no problem saying, yeah, that's the best. We've never seen anybody that good. We probably will never, ever see anybody that good at the running back position again. That's the ultimate respect. You know what I mean? So anyways, you guys, but it's a team sport. So you got to win. That's the bottom line. If you're not winning in a team sport, then it is what it is. Because if it was an individual sport, like say golf or boxing or tennis, we're not talking about you unless you're winning. You know what I mean? It's when you win, we talk about you. You win a cup, you win a title, you win a championship, whatever, you win a belt, whatever the case may be. So that's just the way it goes. And in a team sport, you're relying on everybody else on your team to help you get there. But on an individual level, I ain't never seen anybody like him. And yeah, the comparison between Jordan and LeBron, guys, I don't want to hear it until LeBron gets 7. Until then, even if he gets 6, it'll be like, well, it took you like 7 more years. You know, big whoopity-doo. You know, like, imagine how many more Jordan could have got if he played 7 more years. Anyways, I am out of here, guys. Go check out Nick's channel. Phenomenal channel. And yeah, like the vid on the way out. Subscribe if you got more content, or if you want more content like this. And most importantly is the be water, my friends. Peace out.